Welcome down to the Malted Man Cave. I'm your host, Keith.
And I'm Dave.
Tonight we're going to be reviewing a Glenfiddich. All right, so tonight, as I said, we're going to be reviewing a Glenfiddich. I know you've had Glenfiddich.
Yes.
Glenlivet, Glenfiddich is what we kind of started our journey on.
You know what? I was pretty sure that it was the same thing.
Yeah?
Yeah, early on.
Glenlivet, Glenfiddich.
I'd be like, 3 fingers of Glenfiddich. Glenlivet. What?
I mean, pretty much in Ohio back in the day, this is like really all you could get is Glenfiddich 12, 15, Glenlivet 12, 15, yep. Or if you're lucky, there might be a Macallan 12.
Just
like it's a little bit better than that now, but Ohio, man, especially in Springfield area. It's in we're in the Rust Belt, really close to Dayton and the Miami Valley. There's not a whole lot of people.
Not a lot of culture.
There's a lot of Bud Light and Milwaukee's Best being bought here. Not a whole lot of single malts guys.
So many cans. So many cans just thrown out of cars. It is crazy how many people are drinking and driving right now.
Seriously.
Whew.
Unashamed.
Unashamed. Just tall boys down the road. Now, real quick, out in North Dakota, Ryan said that he got picked up for his, it was like a job placement for school for one summer. And his host family picked him up from the airport. And he had a tall boy riding with him.
Isn't that crazy to think though? Like back in the day, like everybody did that.
Oh yeah.
And even like not drinking. Like I remember, like when I was a kid, my dad, like I'd sit on his lap, like in the car when I was like 4 years old. Did your dad?
We didn't have seatbelts. We were all over the place back then.
So crazy.
You know what's great about seatbelts is it keeps kids like in place.
So in some ways, obviously, I'm very glad that we're more safe. You know, I'm glad, like, I don't want my kids, but in some ways, don't you think, like, we've kind of become a little controlled?
Legalize everything.
So, anyways,
tonight... And the circuses, the Roman circuses.
Tonight, we're going to be reviewing Glenfiddich, the Roman circuses. What are you talking? You want to bring gladiators back? I'd be cool with it.
Let's do it, man.
I'd fight. The
Yeah.
price was right.
Well, probably we would be slaves, right? If we were fighting. Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
Not true. Didn't they say actually, like, what was that Roman emperor? No, not Caligula. Don't say it. Commodus. Then he supposedly. Commodus. Now I know in the movie Gladiator, that's how, and he rigs it. Remember, he stabs Russell Crowe or whatever. But I think actually I think Commodus actually did fight in real life, and I think he actually did the same thing where he kind of like rigged it, drugged the guy, or did like a couple things to basically. But I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I read that somewhere. Like, no, that indeed one of the emperors did fight in the Gladiator.
Look up
in the Colosseum.
On YouTube Gladiator with the Kid Rock bow with a bow to bang a day.
Dude, we were so pumped when we were juniors in high school when that came out.
Why didn't they have an updated
they had
soundtrack?
Kid Rock bow in the soundtrack, and then we watched the movie like.
Wait, is it not
there's
like that kind of?
There's no ball to the ball ever in the movie.
Gladiator with like a sweet soundtrack. All right, on to the good stuff.
So tonight we're reviewing Glenfiddich 15 Unique Solera Reserve. Now, so this was one of the whiskeys that truly turned me into loving single malts. You know, I'd had Glenlivet 12, Glenfiddich 12, other things. And I remember I had this, and I'd had a couple of, to my shame, I used to mix this with cream soda.
Oh.
And I watched How I Met Your Mother. You know, they always had scotch and soda. I was like, what about scotch and cream soda?
I bet that would...
To be honest, it's pretty good.
Probably pretty good.
I would never do that with good single malt now, but that's how I kind of got into it. And then I started drinking it on the rocks. And then I started drinking it neat. And I'm like, wow. And this is one of the first ones. Glenmorangie 10, Glenmorangie Kita Reuben, Glenfiddich 15 Solera, and a couple other ones. There was like 4 or 5 that were like, yeah, this is actually pretty good. And I watched a couple of videos on YouTube with the guy, what is his name? The guy who took over for David Stewart at Balvenie. Oh, I'm going to put his name right there because I'm going to forget it. But anyways, I watched and he was like, oh, look, honeycomb. And all these notes. I'm like, man, I actually do get that. So that was kind of what started some of my
Oh,
geekery.
nice, man. That like give you a little trigger, like
Yeah,
notes.
Like, getting notes, like the whole, and then I watched
Yeah.
a couple of Ralphie videos, and like he's like just picking out like 30 notes, and I'm like, man, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So without further ado, unfortunately, I do think this has color in it. I do think it's chill filtered, and unfortunately, it's only 40% ABV. But it does have pretty decent cask maturation. It is in American bourbon casks. It is in Portuguese sherry cask, and then a little bit of virgin oak cask. And then they take all those different casks and they marry them in a Solera vat. So that's why it's called Unique Solera Reserve. So have you ever heard of the Solera process in sherry?
Oh man, Solera, is that something to do with the sun?
Like, that's a logical conclusion, but the Solera process is basically they take all these casks, and I was so confused about sherry casks at first because I thought they actually took real sherry casks that held quality sherry made for sherry, and then they put those casks and they put whiskey in them, but that's not how it goes. The real casks that hold like the quality sherry that people are gonna like really drink sherry comes from a Solera cask, and they're old. Like all the tannins are out of them. Some of them are like 100 years old. Some of them are 80, 90, 100 years old. And then imagine it's like stacks. So it's like 20 casks, then 20 casks on top of it, and then 20 more casks. And what they basically do is they put the youngest sherry up here, and then they transfer. So actually you empty out the oldest sherry, then you move this bottle into the last sherry, then this bottle into that bottle or cask, this cask into that cask. So basically it makes it older. And it's kind of this kind of blending, and it gets older and older and older, and so it kind of
So it gets
around.
a little bit of every age into it.
So obviously this isn't on that level, but they have this big Solera vat, and so I think when they started this like 1998 or something. I think it was in the 90s. I could be wrong. I'll put it right there. But so the kind of comps is they always, whenever they fill like brand new bottlings, they always leave 50% of the old stuff in the vat. And so technically there could be some molecules of the original when they started doing the whole Solera process in like 1998 or whenever it was. So, and I think it's actually a really good thing. I actually do think it makes it better. So I'm not going to be like amazingly better, but even if it's like 2% better, makes a difference.
Makes a difference.
If only they were at a craft presentation. But without further ado.
Do they have any dunnage warehouses? Do they have any dunnage warehouses?
I'm sure they may have a few. I don't think Glenfiddich has a lot of dunnage warehouses. So I'm a little worried. That
it may be a little faint tonight.
Yeah, this has been kind of really low for like a year and a half.
Oh, there's a drop or two left in there.
Oh no.
Gobble, gobble, gobble.
Let's just kick it off.
Oh, give it to me then. I've had the rough day.
I'm gonna pour you that bourbon later, bro.
Oh, Keith got a local
New Riff single barrel.
Yeah, Cincy.
Just for Dave. I actually did get that.
Is it Kentucky?
I did get that with you at Biden. Planning to give you a good portion of it.
Oh.
All right. So without further ado, let's get into some whiskey.
Bump, 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 bump.
Get real creepy today, Dave. I love you too, though. What do you got in the nose, bud?
Air.
So Dave did not have, we're going to this. We didn't get notes. Dave has never had this, at least probably not, maybe like 8 years ago you had this.
So some light fresh fruit like peaches.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit of leather. But kind of reminds me of like a like Woods by Abercrombie or something like that. Yeah.
It does.
Yeah.
What is it that's making it smell like
I don't know. Sandalwood or something like that.
100. It is like literally smells like Abercrombie and Fitch the store.
Yeah.
Like back in the 90s and early 2000s when you like.
Just smells like all of the colognes and perfumes and clothing. Very textile-ish. Very.
So I get like grape. There's a grapiness. There is like black tea, maybe with some like honey in it, definitely, or like honeycomb. I guess I'm stealing that from a long time ago from that old, old master distiller.
It reminds me of a like an Arnold Palmer. He's getting grapes. I still think it's like that light fruit.
There's definitely peach, peach and apricot for sure.
Okay,
I mean, it's grape, peach, apricot. I mean, there's a lot of light light to even some red fruits, I'd say.
White grapes or
There's
red
vanilla
grapes?
too. This is a lot better than I remembered. I was preparing to 'cause I really liked this when I was younger, and I figured man, this isn't gonna be that good anymore.
Yeah.
But surprisingly, it's pretty good on those. You get that vanilla. It has that Balvenie maltiness, that malty, almost
like a malted milk bowl.
Yeah,
a little bit
and
of
almost gristiness, almost the texture that I get a lot with Balvenie is almost they didn't
it's not
mill it as fine as they should have, and it's almost smells and tastes there is a little bit more grist to it.
It's not like chocolate, milk
white,
chocolate or
white chocolate.
White chocolate. Yeah,
white chocolate.
It's white
vanilla
chocolate.
Candles. Yep. We've been getting vanilla candles a lot lately.
Setting that mood.
Anything else? I'm trying to think. This is a lot more complex than I remember. I was prepared to not be super generous with this, but this is for 40% ABV. There's a lot going on here.
It's bringing it. I wonder if some
little oranges.
I wonder if some do well airing it out a bit.
Yeah, obviously, and
then
most
some fade.
But I just figured at 40% ABV, it's
that nothing.
It's chill filtered. They got added color. I'm pretty sure. I just figured being it was that low for a year and a half, maybe longer. I just figured it would be dead. But,
well, down in your cask cellar where you keep everything,
my dunnage soundproof.
No, seriously, we gotta.
What do you get on the palate?
Okay. So it is, I think it fades a little bit on the palate for me, just a little bit. Maybe the age in the glass, but it has a lot of what it came with before. Even for 40% ABV, it's got a little bit of spice to it, I feel like. Reminds me of the same feeling. Have you ever had Jersey Mike's, their hot peppers?
Mm-mm. I don't think I've ever had Jersey Mike's.
I haven't had it either.
Are they good?
I had it for the first time a week ago.
How good are the subs?
Pretty good, man.
Compared to Penn Station or Our Hero? Better, same, worse?
On par with Our Hero. I'm not a big fan of Penn Station anymore. Penn Station, I used to eat it every day because the French fries were delicious.
Some malt vinegar.
Speaking of malt, definitely still getting that malted feeling to
malted milk ball, vanilla malt.
Yep, vanilla malt is how it's almost like a milkshake malt.
Again, I get grapiness, a little bit of black tea with honey, honeycomb, vanilla malt, a little bit of
Abercrombie wood.
Seriously, that was spot on, man. On the nose, there is really, I don't even know what, it's the sandalwood mixed with some kind of floral perfuminess, cologne.
Yeah, yep.
In a good way. You would think that
it's horrible, not bad.
But it actually works. That was my scent, you know that, right?
Oh, dude, I know.
4 years.
Yeah.
That was my trademark.
You know what mine was?
Vanilla. Well, no,
raw vanilla.
You did vanilla for a while. It sounds really creepy that
raw,
I know, I know you're.
It's called raw vanilla.
We're definitely straight. We have one.
I'm gonna Amazon. I bet Amazon's got that. Is somebody burning a candle or? What is that?
I actually like that.
Yeah.
I like, not on you. I just like the smell of vanilla.
He liked it on me. Anything to cover up my natural scent.
Yeah. No. Dave, one time when we were in high school, literally, I had this couch or this bed that he had already slept in. I was like, oh, your natural pheromones are just awful. I think it was kind of a running joke.
I think it was just too powerful for him. It's it was the first time he had smelled an alpha dog. And he was scared.
You're in an interesting place tonight. I love it.
A little bit tired.
For
your enjoyment.
What else you get on the palate?
So,
little cinnamon, little ginger.
So I was gonna say that heat. I think it's a cinnamon heat.
Yeah,
feels like that.
Allspice, ginger, nutmeg, clove, something. Little peach and apricot again. There's a lot going on, man. If this was like 46% and not chill filter, this is really
I led off the palate with saying, oh, it feels so feels a little light. And at first I thought that was like the flavor of it or the taste that it was bringing, but it's that just the low ABV of it is what makes it feel so airy and light. It is a very complex, it's probably the lowest ABV complex.
And it's staying on my palate for 40% ABV.
And hello.
This is surprising me.
It's too bad you can't find it anywhere anymore.
I think you can still find this.
Oh, good.
Dave buys a lot of whiskey for the channel.
I was like, maybe this is a unique one. It says unique right on the wrapper. Right on the sticker it says unique.
So what do you think about the finish?
So the finish is fair for the low ABV. It's a medium to longish finish for me. A lot of those great the cinnamon, the nutmeg, those allspice kind of feeling to the tongue. But the vanilla is fantastic all the way through. Those notes, just it's really soothing, like that.
You know what I'm almost getting, and I've said this before with some Balvinis, and Glenfiddich is owned by the people that own Balvini. There is a baby, like lavender and chamomile baby powder with like blood oranges, Mountain Dew-ish / and then all the other notes that we said.
Dude, I'm with you on the dew.
The Mountain Dew?
Yeah, it's that citrus. It's that.
Did you know Mountain Dew is made of like a lot of
orange juice? Isn't that crazy?
I never knew that.
It's like 70% orange juice.
I never knew that.
Yeah.
So for me, it's about medium.
So it's good for you kids.
It doesn't shrink your penis at all.
Yellow number 5.
We'll bleep that out.
Just leave it.
So for me, it's like it's medium. Like if this was at 46% nacho,
I agree.
This would probably be like a really long finish. And you know, this at 40% ABV, like this is really good whiskey.
Yep, I agree.
So Malted Man Cave Mark, what are you gonna give it?
Oh man. You've kind of been blowing it out of the water as far as giving me some taster's choices. Last week's, I ranked that one was an 88. And man, this one's feeling right there with it. I'm going to give this one an 88 too.
Yeah.
If not an 89. It's great. 88.5.
This is a really good whiskey. I'm going to be a snob because I got to ding it a little bit because it's 40% ABV. It's not chill filter, but I will say this. This is probably the best 40% ABV whiskey I've ever
85,
had.
84?
86.
86.
And I remember when I first got this bottle, I was at like an 89. But
an 89? Oh, because you were mixing it with cream soda.
Maybe even a 90.
With a cream soda?
I love me some Glenfiddich 15 Solera with some cream soda, bro. It's a 95 out of 100.
That's so funny.
86, 8.5 stars out of 10, like for a 40%. Like, this is a really good whiskey. This is great for beginners. Like, if I was ever gonna like start somebody, actually, even like someone that's maybe been into it for a little bit, like kind of like a hidden gem, like something that's really good value for money. Like this, I think this is always good to have on the bar. 86 out of 100 for me.
Yeah.
Question of the night.
Oh man.
Not gonna be as controversial tonight. We're gonna delve into the sports world.
Late term abortion.
And no.
Okay. No. Late term finals. Who's going to be in the finals?
And most importantly, before that, though, this was my question.
Okay, so is Dame Lillard better than Steph Curry currently?
So this is my hot take. It sure looks like he might be becoming better than him. I would say this: Steph Curry is the greatest shooter of all time, in my opinion. I think he's earned that. And I think he revolutionized the game. He completely changed the game just by his his utter depth of where he can pull up. Like, you literally have to pick him up at half court because he will like make it rain. But I'm telling you, and it's not fair because, you know, Clay got hurt, KD left, and so it's always like, what have you done for me lately? Steph Curry is amazing. But I'm just, and I don't think Dame is better than Steph yet, but I'm just like, wow, if this holds, he might become better because he's looking incredible.
So if we can rewind to our NBA bubble talk, I mentioned how awesome it would be if LeBron got him some Dame as his point guard. I think position-wise, if you stacked position, Steph, shooting guard, point guard, somewhat comparable to, but different roles on their teams. Definitely different roles. But as far as position-wise,
Dame's a better defender too.
Who would you rather have on your team as far as distributing the ball, bringing the ball up the court, being in control? Now, late game opportunities.
Dame, because he's a better defender. Steph Curry, you have to hide him.
Also, too, late game opportunities. How often is Steph needing multiple pit screens, multiple picks to get open shots, whereas
Dame gets it on his own.
Dame gets it on his own most of the time.
It's true. So I don't think he's there yet. I think he could very quickly be overtaking Steph. What about you? Same?
Yeah, I totally agree. I think he's been undervalued well, you know what, not undervalued, just it's bad. It's sad being stuck in Portland.
It's really easy to be when you got KD and Clay
and
Draymond Green. And who's Livingston, like the best sixth man in like the NBA for the last 5 years.
What's his name? Iguodala. Jeez. Anyways,
they were so stacked.
Oh
man.
my goodness,
Wasn't even fair.
Unbelievable.
So, who are you picking now? So, did you pick the Clippers?
I picked the Bucks. I picked the Bucks. Bucks are what, down a game. So, who do I like now? And Lakers are down. You pick Lakers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Lakers are down a game. I'm gonna stay with the Bucks. I'm gonna ride them out. I think they have the if they can pull it together. I feel like they have a little bit better road. Clippers look great.
I still think Clippers are. I think my head says Clippers, my heart says Lakers.
I just love Patrick.
Even though I have a love-hate relationship.
I love Patrick Beverly so much.
Yeah. Even though I have a love-hate relationship with LeBron right now.
I wonder why, Keith. Let's get into that. Let's peel that onion.
Let's not. Thank you as always for watching. Please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Remember, God is king.
And sometimes it is the king.